everybody, and welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Jennifer, and I've met with Jennifer several times before. She's from Avalon Waterways, and what I did on all of our cruise chats is I made different playlists for each different cruise line. So if you want to go and look at the Avalon Waterways, all of our past episodes, just click on that playlist and they'll all be in there. But do come back to this one because we've got some really exciting things to discuss, including one of our group departures that we have. So over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Kathleen, and thank you everybody for joining us today. Today's presentation is really about keeping the travel dreams alive for 2022. For those of you that have never sailed on a river cruise before, you're in for quite an experience. It's like no other way to travel through Europe. I have to say it's my favorite way to travel through Europe. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, it can look a little costly right out of the gate, but there are so many added values to the cost of your cruise. Mm-hmm. If you are sort of from the ocean cruising world and you're looking to convert to cruise this, 2022 or in the future, there are so many things that are normally an extra cost on a river cruise, on an ocean cruise that are included with river, like Wi-Fi and water and, specialty coffees and things like that. So, but the biggest difference, and one I think that's most important, is the size of our vessels. Mm-hmm. Our Avalon Waterways ships only hold a maximum of 166 passengers. There's only 4 decks, so you're not going to receive a, complicated deck plan map when you embark. It's easy peasy, just a center aisle right down the middle. So there's ways about getting lost.
Yeah, just to tell a story on that one, I was on one of the mega ocean liners and I was like, okay, I need to get to the aft of the ship because I'm really sure that that's where this venue is I was headed to. I got all the way back there. I looked and I went, oh no, it was at the front. I got the other way. My daughter was kind of looking at me going, that's a long walk, I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. So 4 levels is awesome.
Exactly. No worries about getting lost on the ship at all. Mm-hmm. And Avalon Waterways, we are a very innovative river cruise line, very young as well. And we were the ones that first introduced panorama suites to the river. This is actually a photo looking outward, of course. And as you can see from this photo, the beds are actually facing the view. So you can be a passive tourist, lay in bed with a cappuccino or maybe a glass of wine in the evenings and watch castles and cathedrals float by. 2021 is actually marking our 10th year anniversary of our panorama suites, and 80% of our ship is actually a panorama suite type. So, and very easy when you're booking with Kathleen in future. Mm-hmm. And won multiple awards for our cabins as well. So this is actually 5 years in a row now by Cruise Critic, as well as Best River Cruise Line by Cruise Critic Cruisers in 2019. And if you're not familiar with Cruise Critic, it's kind of like the Emmys for the cruise world. So the one thing that we love about these awards is they were voted on by cruisers. So people that have actually experienced Avalon, and it's not just a popularity contest. So we're very, very proud of all of our awards. This is just a different view of the panorama suite. So if you prefer the floor plan, as you can see, the blue shaded area is the size of a normal cabin. Mm-hmm. And the unshaded area to the right is normally where your external balcony would be. And we realize that most of our guests don't utilize their balconies, especially on the river. Mm-hmm. What we did is we decided to take all that square footage and incorporate it into your cabin. Then if you also notice, we've angled the wall where the headboard for the bed is, and that gives us more space in our bathrooms. And I'm actually going to take you on board so you can see all the different cabins that we offer. Now, there's only 3 main categories or category types. Mm-hmm. So panorama suite here as the piece de resistance. So as you can see, very spacious. All of our ships are identical The only thing that usually changes is the color of the decor, but they're well lit. You have that floor to ceiling window that has an unobstructed view, lots of storage space as well. And that closet is full of hair, so you don't have to bring any from home. This particular photo has the beds together, but they can be separated into twins if needed. And the beds are nice and high, so you can actually tuck your luggage underneath. And then the bathrooms are incredible. They're bigger than my first bathroom in my first apartment. All marble, and we use L'Occitane toiletries, which is a luxury French brand. We have a lit makeup mirror. That shower is very large, so ladies, you don't have to worry about being a contortionist to shave your legs. Like I said, there's the L'Occitane toiletries, lit makeup mirror as well.
Beautiful.
Moving on to our deluxe stateroom. This is actually our lead-in category. So this is on the lower deck, and I call them swan view because those windows are actually at water level. And it's not uncommon to have ducks and swans kind of at you. They are a great value because, you know, the cabins themselves are very large. You still have those gorgeous windows. Bathroom is very well appointed with the L'Occitane toiletries as well. Let's face it, most of the time you're going to be out and about outside of your cabin anyway.
Right. Yes.
We have 2 royal suites on board each ship as well. So these are located in the middle of the ship. They're over 300 square feet. Lots of room for entertaining. There's 2 TVs as well, which is awesome. And they're, like I said, in the center, so they're away from the noise and of the engines and all in the back of the ship. The bathroom is really large, so we have double vanities, lots of storage space for all your toiletries as well. And again, only 2 of those on each ship, so make sure you book early.
Have them early, yeah. Beautiful.
And when it comes to inclusions, as I said, you know, there is just such added value cruising the rivers through Europe. So, you know, on board, we always have complimentary sparkling wine at breakfast. You have complimentary regional wine and beers at lunch and dinner. Of course, all your meals on board are also included. And our dinner service is incredible. It's a 4-course a la carte menu. You have your choice of about 6 different offerings for each course as well. And we like to try to keep it as regional as possible and always see the chef kind of leaving the ship when we get into port to go get that day's you know, provisions, which is awesome. So it's always really nice and fresh. We also have your choice of excursions. So I'm going to get into those in a moment. But the nice thing is you can customize your sailing to suit your own passions and interests. You're not pigeonholed into, you know, these tours that you're really not interested in. We also have happy hour every day as well. So that's before dinner service. It's 2-for-1 drinks during that time. And there's usually a couple of specialty cocktails available. Complimentary Wi-Fi throughout the ship. So, you know, you can always keep in touch with friends and family and send them your photos and make them really jealous. We also have a complimentary 24/7 tea and coffee station. So we use Lavazza coffee on board, which is high-end Italian coffee. It's really strong if you like strong coffee. And at this, in the club lounge where the coffee and tea stations are, you can find herbal teas, you know, your traditional orange pico. Plus we have fresh fruit and fresh fruit juices. But we also have specialty coffee. So that's something that normally would be an additional cost. You know, if you're on an ocean cruise, so you can get a latte if you want to, or a cappuccino. It's all included, which is beautiful. And there's fresh pastries and cookies and these back there as well. So you're never going to starve.
No, not at all. You're going to roll me off.
Exactly. Make sure you pack your stretchy pants. Yeah. Is what I'm saying. We also have bikes on board, so you can take those on shore and go off and explore on your own. And we have onboard entertainment for you nightly as well. So there is so much to do on board. And like I said, the food is out of this world. So, we really do have something for everybody on the menu. And for those of you that are a little health conscious, we do have our Avalon Fresh options as well. Okay. And when it comes to dining, we do realize that you're going to be in some of the, Europe's incredible ports. So we want to give you that flexibility. So you can either eat a little earlier and have dinner like at 7 o'clock. Or if you want to go off and explore first, then you can come back and have dinner up until 8:30 p.m. In our dining room. And again, it's a 4-course a la carte service. With regional wines paired as well. And it is an experience. And one thing I love about sailing on Avalon is we have multiple dining venues available to you. So you can have complimentary continental breakfast in your cabin in the morning if you like. We try to have multiple al fresco dining experiences on the deck, weather permitting, of course. And then the bottom left picture there is actually our lounge. So we have more of a bistro service there for lunch and dinner service. And then the main photo at the bottom is actually our main dining lounge. Mm-hmm. And that room was designed perfectly because it doesn't matter where you're sitting, you have an unobstructed view of the river. So it is incredible.
Yeah, nice.
Exactly. And it's nice to kind of, have dinner and be sailing through these beautiful, quaint cities and towns. Or you can also grab a picnic basket if you like and go off and explore on your own. Now, when it comes to our excursions, like I said, you have your choice. Mm-hmm. So, which is amazing because again, you can you can pick what you like. You can split up from your partner if you want to and meet back for dinner later or lunch. Mm-hmm. Classic excursions are basically your must-do, must-see sites in that particular destination. The Discovery are probably my favorite, to be quite honest, because these are inspirational type of experiences. They're interactive in most cases. You probably will get your hands dirty because it's cooking classes and pastry workshops and things like that. But what I love about them myself is the fact that you're engaging with locals. Mm-hmm. So local run businesses that we're going to where you're going to, do your cooking demonstration in class. And to me, that's what traveling's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll know how to make it properly. And when you get back home, you can entertain and say, look what I learned when I was in France. And it's just, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And you learn the stories behind the ingredients and how they're passed down from generation to generation. So there's nothing like them. They're my personal favorite. And then we also have our active excursions as well. Those are just as they sound. So, lots of hiking and biking and kayaking and things like that. But again, you can choose what you like. You can mix and match. You could do Discovery for your first 2 days and then active for the rest, trying to work off that cheesecake every night. But the choice is up to you. Yeah. And the Active and Discovery cruises are kind of a collection of 8 cruises now that we offer. Mm-hmm. And they're very unique in the fact that they are really explore the destination in a completely different way than our classic sailings. So the biggest difference is the fact that there's less distance between the ports, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. So you can take a bike off of the ship if you want to and cycle along and meet us at the next port. You have more time in these ports as well, which is always incredible when you're visiting a destination for the first time. And there are different ports that may not be what other river cruise lines are offering to you. And the benefit of that, I think something that's going to be extremely popular moving forward is they're going to be less crowded. less touristy. And, you know, another great point about visiting some of these smaller towns and cities is that your tourist dollars are going to make more of an impact for these local communities.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, they need it as much as anyone else. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly. And with the active and discovery sailings, the majority of your included excursions will either be the active or discovery type. So again, you know, as far as the discovery options are for your excursions, those are my personal preference. But again, you can choose what you like to do. And there are still classics available for you if you haven't been to that destination before. So today I'm actually going to take you through a new active and discovery Holland, Belgium, which is very exciting. So 8-day round trip Amsterdam. So it's fantastic for flights because you're in and out of the same city. So Kathleen can more than help you with that. And it is the group departure for Plenty of Sunshine Travel, September 20 to 27. What I picked this photo on purpose because for me, there's nothing like fall in Europe. You know, the fall colors are spectacular, and they're truly, you know, mesmerizing because I find that because there's not a huge fluctuation usually with the temperatures, like here in Canada, it goes from 40 degrees to -2 overnight.
Same day sometimes it feels like.
Exactly. I find that the fall colors are a little bit more prolonged in Europe. So lucky you if anyone is going to join Kathleen on this incredible sailing. So the first day of the trip is actually arriving into Amsterdam. So Kathleen will make sure that your flights arrive before 3:30. You'll be all on board by 5 o'clock. If you are arriving earlier than that, there is an opportunity for an optional excursion. So we usually offer about a dozen optional excursions throughout the week. These ones can be purchased prior to leaving Canada, or you can do them while you're on the ship as well. But there is an opportunity if you arrive into Amsterdam early to go off and for a guided tour of the windmills and visit some of the charming Dutch houses as well. There'll be a welcome reception after 5 o'clock once you're all settled into your cabins with sparkling wine and hors d'oeuvres. And then this will be your first experience with our incredible dinner service. So you're very lucky. Make sure you get the cheese plates. You won't be disappointed. And again, keep in mind, you know, you're going to complement our incredible dinner service with regional wines and beers as well. And this particular itinerary is sailing through some of the best beer regions of Europe. So enjoy. And this evening after, you know, we have dinner, we'll go back upstairs into the lounge for our entertainment. And we will be sailing on to Middelburg. So this is just a photo of Middelburg. It is such a quaint little town. Here it's all about castle moats, an oyster farm, as well as the Dutch sea trade. So today is the first day where you'll actually wake up and have a choice of excursion. So if you are an active individual, you can take advantage of a guided walk through the woods and dunes and see the Castle Westhoven, as well as the beautiful farmlands of the North Sea area. Or if you prefer, you can take advantage of those discovery excursions. And today it'll be a guided tour of the Delta Works, which is the largest flood protection system in the world and a miracle of modern technology. So if any engineering buffs can see that, it is quite impressive, to be quite honest. Or we have another discovery option if you prefer. You can go off and we have a guided tour of a family oyster farm. This particular family has been active in the cultivation of crustaceans and shellfish in the Netherlands since the early 1900s. So lots of history there.
Yeah.
You'll be treated to oyster tasting and some lobster, and of course we will be pairing that with lots of wine.
Mhm.
So to end this day.
Yeah.
And
So it's a good thing you're not driving. You get transportation there and back.
Exactly.
So enjoy. Yeah, neat.
Exactly. And that's just it, right? Like everything is included. You don't have to like worry about how you're getting to these excursions. We pick you up at the ship, or it's a short walk depending on that day. But yeah, you don't have to worry about any of that. So you can just enjoy. The last option for Middelburg is a classic excursion. So if you've never been to Middelburg, you'll have a walking tour and you'll go through with a local host through all the winding cobblestone streets and canals. You'll see the 15th century Gothic town hall and learn about its important role in the spice trade and Dutch East trading. That evening, after dinner, of course, and our nightly entertainment, we'll be sailing on to Ghent.
Mm-hmm.
This is a city I have not personally been to, so I'm very jealous that you'll be visiting Ghent, Belgium. So today is all about Flemish artwork and street artists. So the active excursion for day 3 is you can go out and explore the outskirts of Ghent by bike with a local guide. And this will actually be on mountain bike. So be prepared to get maybe a little dirty. But they're going to take you, because it's a local guide, it's kind of exciting because they're going to take you through some of the lesser known and touristy spots in outskirts of Ghent, which is nice.
Yeah.
Or you can take advantage of the discovery option today and you'll be joining your local tour guide for the tour of the graffiti street. So this is an incredible street full of graffiti, just as it sounds. You'll see artists, creating these impressive works on the wall. But the nice thing is we're actually going to hand the spray can to you, and you all get to be graffiti artists as well, which is kind of
neat. Yeah.
Your stamp on a graffiti street, which is so there's that option as well. And again, we do have a classic option for any of our history buffs out there. Ghent is known as the Diamond of Flanders. So we'll have a guided sightseeing tour where we'll go and we'll highlight all the medieval Flemish wealth. And, you'll be able to go and visit some of the notorious attractions of Ghent. And you'll also get to go visit St. Bavo's Cathedral as well.
Neat. And do all of these tours still give you a little bit of time to explore on your own as well?
Yep, most of them do. So with Ghent, there is an option. There's an optional excursion for purchase where it's a full day where you go and you can visit Bruges as well.
Okay.
Usually the way that the day would operate is you'd get up in the morning, you'd have your incredible a la carte breakfast, and then you would head off for your morning excursion. And then you would usually come back to the ship for lunch. And then there is usually either another included excursion in the afternoon, free time, or there would be optional excursions for purchase. So every day is a bit different, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And we know you want to be able to go out and shop and do your own thing as well, or just sit in a cafe or a pub and people watch. So we do give you the opportunity to do that as well.
Yeah, because I'm seeing in the picture that you have there, I believe it's a telescope right there on the bridge, and I think that would be kind of neat to be able to check out some of the local things too. So that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you're going at a perfect time of the year with the departure, it's not too hot, not too cold. So, even just sitting on the sky deck with a nice, hot chocolate or a cappuccino or a glass of wine or Bailey's, or whatever your preference is, and just taking in the incredible night air as you're sailing off to your next destination.
Sounds lovely.
Exactly. And our next day would be Brussels.
Wow.
So Brussels is incredible. It's all about ancient streets and chocolate sweets. So
can't go wrong with that.
Exactly. So like I said, make sure you wear your stretchy pants and comfortable shoes are very important on a river cruise. We're not formal at all. So if you've never river cruised before, it's not, leave your tiaras and tuxedos at home. It's not like that at all. It's just, understated luxury. A nice sweater and slacks is perfectly fine for dinner. We don't have dress codes. So, it's your vacation. We want you to be comfortable. So no worries to stress about, bringing formal wear.
Right.
Leave your high heels at home, believe me. The cobblestone streets, you're not going to use them. So in Brussels, we have an active excursion where you can do another bike tour, which is awesome. You'll go off and explore Brussels in a fun and eco-friendly way and learn all about its history and culture with your local guide. If you are kind of warming up to these discovery type of excursions, we have a Belgian chocolate making workshop. So this is the one I would be in personally, where you're going to create your own confections and sweet treats, which is awesome. So there'll be a demonstration on how it's done, historically with the history of the ingredients and all of that. And then you'll be left to your own devices to create your own chocolate masterpieces, which is kind of cool. And then again, the classic option is a guided tour of Brussels. You'll see Town Hall, which is here with the magnificent floral, masterpiece in the middle. And you'll also visit some of the local bars and cafes and shops in the lower town streets. So, if you wanted to, you could always end your excursion in that area and make your own way back to the ship if you like. Because the afternoon is free for you to go off and explore Brussels on your own, which is nice. And there's lots of great shopping in Brussels as well. And the one thing that I love about this itinerary is the fact you're always moving to your next destination in the evening, either at dinner or, after dinner. So there's lots of time for you to go off and explore. You're not having to rush back because we're moving on to the next port. So lots of free time in Brussels. And we will be making our way to Antwerp. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I know. I'm so jealous. And like I said, this is one itinerary I really, really want to do. So Antwerp, you have bike riding, Brave New Worlds, as well as Rubens art. So if you haven't guessed by now, your active option is a bike tour, and you'll discover the centuries old of history and story around every corner. Or if you prefer, the discovery option here is about a lot of history. So it's a visit to the Red Star Line Museum, and you'll follow in the footsteps of immigrants as they became acquainted with you'll become acquainted with passengers and follow in their footsteps as they make their way into the New World. So it's a sombering type of museum, but it is one that really should be visited. It's part of the history of this area. Or if you haven't been to Antwerp, however, though, you could go off and explore with our guided tour as well. So our guided tours are on the classic side are always sort of your traditional city tours. take you to all of the iconic sites. In this particular tour, we're going to go to the Grotto Market, which is the 16th century gilded walled houses are located here. We'll see City Hall as well, and the Cathedral of Our Lady. And cathedral actually has this incredible, stunning altarpiece artwork. It's a painting by Rubens. So if you are an art lover, you'll definitely want to do the classic excursion because it is absolutely spectacular. And then we will be cruising on to Rotterdam that evening. Rotterdam is a very interesting city. It's kind of the best of both worlds. So it has your traditional historical sections, and then it is very modern as well, with skyscrapers and things like that. Plus, it has that beautiful park in the center of the old town, which is absolutely lovely.
It looks completely different from the port before. Isn't that something? You get really good ports. Wow.
It's just incredible. So, Rotterdam, of course, is in Holland. So we're back into the Netherlands. It's all about avant-garde architecture and art lessons here in Rotterdam. The active option in the morning is a architectural bike tour. So if you are, if you love old buildings and history and architecture, then this is what you'll want to do. Because I really haven't been to a city that is so diverse when it comes to the old village charm and the new. So like I said, you're in for a treat if you love architecture. And the discovery option, there is a pottery workshop. So again, you're going to get your hands dirty here, but a pro painter is going to take you through the process of painting a Delft tile. So the blue and white iconic Holland tiles, exactly. The classic is a guided sightseeing tour of Rotterdam, but it does have an architectural spin as well, because this city is just so unique when it comes to architecture. So again, either or, you could either do it on the active side if you prefer, or you can do a more leisurely, classic city tour with the architectural twist as well. So. And then before dinner, we'll be cruising through the Rotterdam harbor. So make sure you're up on the sky deck with a beverage of choice and your cameras, because it's absolutely breathtaking when you sail under the bridge. We'll have live entertainment on board tonight. And after you have your incredible a la carte dinner again. And then this evening, we will be making our way by sailing on to Amsterdam. Yeah, Amsterdam is probably one of my favorite European cities. There's more bicycles than there are cars in Amsterdam if you haven't been before. It is absolutely stunning. So it's all about the colorful canals here. Your discovery option in the morning is to head off to a painting class. You'll be inspired by the masters. They'll show you the techniques that they used, and then you'll be painting your own canvas. So how cool is that? You'll be bringing home your own souvenir that you created yourself. And then there'll be an orientation walk as well, just through downtown Amsterdam, just for inspiration. The other option is a bike tour again, which is very fitting while you're in Amsterdam. But they'll take you off into the Dutch countryside. So you don't have to panic. If you've been to Amsterdam before, they do cycle like maniacs. So we take you off into the countryside. So it's a little bit more leisurely. And you can
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the iconic dikes and the windmills and things like that at a leisurely pace. So you're not trampled because they seriously, there's so many bikes. It's incredible. And then we also have quite a few optional excursions as well in Amsterdam. And there's tons of free time here because we're actually overnighting in Amsterdam, which is amazing because we haven't been before. There is the Doubletree Hotel right across from the port where the river cruise ships pull in. And they have an incredible sky lounge. So you can go up there in the evening. It has this huge rooftop terrace where you can see some incredible views of Amsterdam. Every time I go to Amsterdam, I make sure to go there because it is just absolutely spectacular. And then on day 8, we'll wake up in the morning, we'll have a great breakfast again. And then unfortunately, your
time to go
is done. But, or you could always reach out to Kathleen. She could always add extra nights in Amsterdam for you if you like as well. If you didn't do Bruges as the optional excursion, I'm sure Kathleen can set that up for you as well. From Amsterdam, it's not that far, to be honest. So that's always a possibility as well if you wanted to extend your stay.
Yes.
And with everything going on, of course, Avalon, we have enhanced our health and safety protocols and procedures on board. We want to make sure you're doing well, and we've invested lots of money into new technology for sanitizing our ships, and all of our crew. We're working on having them all vaccinated. By the time you're doing your 2022 cruise, that'll be a distant memory, and it will disinfect your luggage and all of that. But one thing I really wanted to point out is, again, because we're an innovative and a young fleet, all of our panorama suites, not only do you have that incredible window that you can open, slide back, and let the fresh air in, but all of our cabins don't share their air exchange with other parts of the ship. So we basically take air from outside, circulate it through your cabin, and then it's pumped back outside. So it's not going into the hallway or the cabin beside you, which is fantastic, even just in normal circumstances, any airborne virus. So really, really good to know that. And we do.
You were really ahead of the curve before because you had that in place. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like I said, that's just, something, just peace of mind on its own. But we do have our peace of mind travel plan as well. So in a nutshell, we will be extending this as far as we need to, as we're dealing with COVID. So if in 2022, we are still dealing with COVID, you do have the option of changing your trip, your cruise, maybe you decide you want to do a land package, anything. You can change it with anything that we offer before your final payment date with no penalty. So the only caveat to that is you do need to know what you're moving it to at the time before final payment. And so final payments, do 180 days prior to travel. So lots of time. But I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that because I know, this is a very fluid situation. And I don't want you to miss out on the incredible itinerary that Kathleen has picked because, like I said, the fall colors are just going to be spectacular.
Yes.
And we always say thank you for traveling with us. So you'll receive a welcome back credit when you get back to Canada. It will be anywhere from 125 to 275. So on a river cruise, it's always the higher end. And that's per person, Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
So nice, thank you for traveling with us. Kathleen will also get a copy of it as well. So, you'll have 2 years to pick your next adventure and 3 years to travel from issue date. So if you're traveling in 2022, you're going to have that until 2025 travel. Basically.
Wow. Yeah, that's lots of time to use it. Absolutely.
Exactly. And for anybody that listens to today's session, I will also offer an additional $100 off per person. And as long as you call Kathleen with your deposits by September 10th. Hopefully, I've inspired you to join her in September 22 on the Active and Discovery Holland in Belgium. I forgot to mention, though, that cruise, I apologize. I'm just realizing that when you're in Amsterdam on day 6, you actually have the option of going to Floriade as well.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what day it was, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, so sorry.
That's okay. I didn't have my itinerary in front of me, so that's okay. Yep.
But Floriade, guys, if you are a flower lover, you have a great you're an aromatherapist, an herbalist, it's an included excursion option in Amsterdam. And Floriade is basically the World Horticulture Expo. So it happens once every 10 years. And we're one of the only river cruise lines that actually includes it as an excursion. So that's another option for you as well. So my apologies. But like I said, if anybody is interested, in any of our itineraries, please reach out to Kathleen. This $200 per couple, $100 per person offer is only valid for booking with her. So, and
if you're in on our group, you also get group rates too. So that's pretty fabulous. Yeah,
exactly.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for putting all that together. My goodness, you did a lot of work. Thank you. That's fabulous. And if anybody has any questions, just reach out to me. It's info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. And I'd be glad to get you set up on our group. And I'm hoping to be there as well if there's enough interest. So it'll be nice to follow along with you, and we can discover and learn together too. So that's kind of nice. So thank you so much for putting all that together. And I hope everybody has a great week. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Jennifer from Avalon Waterways. It was really nice to go over that itinerary. Now I'm even more excited to be able to want to go. And I'm really looking forward to next September. It is September 20 to 27. And it is going to be the wonderful itinerary that we covered. So it is a 7-night, and I believe it's classed as 8 days, but it's September 20 to 27th. So don't be too confused at that. It is 7 full days, and it is just amazing. It goes through areas that aren't your normal touristy areas. So you really get to see the culture and to explore all of the areas. And like Jennifer mentioned, it'll be perfect weather. Because of it being in September, it would be just beautiful fall colors and gorgeous weather. So if you would like any information on this itinerary or any of the other ones, please reach out to me. info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. You can head on over to my website of plentyofsunshinetravel.com, and all my contact information is there as well. And if you're listening to this on our podcast, which is Cruising the Waves podcast, and you'd like to see some of the pictures, head on over to our YouTube channel. And you can see everything there. There'll be a link in the description. It is Plenty of Sunshine Travel on YouTube. I try and keep everything the same across the board so that we can just access everything really easily with the same username. And if you'd like to get in on the conversation, come and join us on Facebook. And I'm also on Instagram, and both of those also are Plenty of Sunshine Travel. So thank you so much for watching. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Crystal Cruises, and we're going to be going over some of their really great itineraries as well. And be sure to reach out to me about this itinerary. I'm really looking forward to going, and if there's enough interest, I'll be able to go. So I really hope that you're able to come, and don't forget about the $200 off per couple as well. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great week. Bye.